And he has said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for power is perfected in weakness." Most gladly, therefore, I will rather boast about my weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may dwell in me. Therefore I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in distresses, in persecutions, in difficulties in behalf of Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 9 to 10. The Bible is filled with verses that offer hope and encouragement, such as 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verses 9 to 10. A verse that can help you discover true gratitude for everything you may or may not have today. This powerful passage reminds us that God's grace is enough. With Jesus Christ, we can find strength in our weaknesses. So let's break it down. You see, God wants to do something amazing in your life. He wants to show you true strength, unmitigated fortitude, and the heaviest anchor. The Apostle Paul wrote 2 Corinthians. Paul was a great man of God. He spread the gospel throughout the Roman Empire. But Paul faced many challenges. He was persecuted for his faith. He also struggled with what he called a thorn in the flesh. We don't know exactly what Paul's thorn was. It was something that caused him pain. It may have been a physical ailment. It could have been opposition from others. Whatever it was, it troubled him deeply. Paul prayed for God to remove his thorn. He wanted relief from his suffering, but God answered him in a way he didn't expect. God said, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." 2 Corinthians 12:9, NASB. God wasn't saying that Paul had to stay in his pain. God was showing Paul that he would be with him through it. God's grace would be enough to sustain him. Paul's weakness would actually become a source of strength. It would draw him closer to God. We all have our own thorns. We face challenges and struggles. You might be battling a health issue. Maybe you're going through a financial hardship. You could be dealing with a difficult relationship. Whatever your thorn is, know that you are not alone. God is with you. He sees your pain, He understands what you're going through, and He wants to give you His strength. When you feel weak, remember that God's power is made perfect in your weakness. We often try to hide our weaknesses. We put on a brave face, a mask of perfection, hoping that no one will see the cracks in our armor. We fear judgment, rejection, and the vulnerability that comes with admitting we are not perfect. We want people to think we have it all together. We strive to present an image of success and flawlessness, believing that this will earn us love and respect. But deep down, we know that this facade is exhausting and unsustainable, but God wants us to embrace our imperfections. He sees beyond our masks and loves us just as we are, with all our flaws and shortcomings. He invites us to come to Him not as perfect beings, but as broken vessels in need of His healing touch. It's in our weakness that we discover His strength. When we acknowledge our limitations and surrender them to God, we open the door for His power to work in and through us. Our weaknesses become the very places where His grace shines the brightest. It's when we admit we can't do it on our own that we allow God to work in our lives. By letting go of our need for control and perfection, we make room for His transformative presence. We learn to rely on His strength rather than our own. Think of it this way. A cracked pot might seem useless. It may appear broken and beyond repair. But in the hands of a skilled artist, those cracks can be transformed into something beautiful and unique. But if you fill those cracks with gold, it becomes even more beautiful. This ancient Japanese art of kintsugi teaches us that our scars and imperfections are not something to be hidden, but rather celebrated as part of our story. Our weaknesses are like those cracks. They are part of what makes us who we are. And just as the gold in kintsugi highlights the beauty of the broken pot, God's love and grace highlight the beauty in our brokenness. God can fill them with His love, His grace, and His power. He takes our broken pieces and makes them whole again, creating something even more beautiful than before. Our imperfections become a testament to His redemptive power. He can make us into something stronger and more beautiful than we could ever imagine. When we embrace our imperfections and allow God to work in our lives, we become vessels of His grace, shining His light into the world. So let us not hide our weaknesses, but bring them to God, trusting that He will transform them into something beautiful. When we are weak, He is strong. When we rely on our own strength, we will always fall short. But when we acknowledge our weakness, we open ourselves up to God's unlimited power, like plugging into a power source far greater than ourselves. The next time you feel inadequate, remember these words: "When I am weak, then I am strong." 2 Corinthians 12:10. This is not a contradiction, but a spiritual paradox, as in our moments of great weakness is when we experience God's greatest strength. Overcoming life's challenges. No matter what challenges you face, God's grace is sufficient for you. Don't be afraid to admit your weaknesses. Don't try to go through life's battles alone. Run to God. He is waiting for you with open arms. He will never leave you nor forsake you. He will give you the strength to overcome any obstacle. Living a life of purpose. When we embrace our weaknesses and rely on God's strength, we open ourselves to a deeper understanding of our purpose. It is in our moments of vulnerability that we find the true essence of our being. We begin to live a life of purpose, not by our own might, but by the grace and guidance of God. Each step we take on this path is illuminated by His light, showing us the way even when the road seems uncertain. We realize that our struggles are not in vain. Every challenge we face, every obstacle we overcome, is a testament to our resilience and faith. These struggles shape us, mold us, and prepare us for greater things. They are opportunities for growth, for transformation, and for God to be glorified in our lives. Just as flowers bloom after the rain, we too can flourish after our trials, becoming stronger and more beautiful in our faith. Your story is not over yet. Each day is a new page, a new chapter in the book of your life. Reflect on your journey and see how far you have come. There is still so much more to be written. God is still writing your story. He is the author of your life, and He has a magnificent plan for you. Trust in His timing and believe that every moment, every experience is part of His divine narrative. And He wants to do something amazing with your life. He wants to use your talents, your passions, and your experiences to make a difference in the world. Celebrate the victories, no matter how small, and cherish the moments of joy. He wants to use your experiences, even your pain, to help others. Your story can be a source of inspiration and hope for those who are struggling. By sharing your journey, you can be a beacon of light in someone else's darkness. He wants to turn your ashes into beauty and your mourning into dancing. Embrace the transformation and let your life be a testament to the power of faith, hope, and love. Dance in the joy of His presence and let your light shine for all to see. The power of humility. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's not about diminishing your own worth or value. Instead, it's about having a realistic understanding of your place in the world. It's thinking of yourself less. It's about shifting your focus from your own needs and desires to the needs and well-being of others. It's acknowledging that you need God. Recognizing that there is a higher power guiding you and that you are not the center of the universe. It's recognizing that you can't do it all on your own, and that's okay. We are all part of a larger community, and we need each other's support and encouragement. In fact, that's where the power comes in. When we admit our limitations and seek help, we open ourselves up to greater possibilities. When we humble ourselves before God, He lifts us up. He provides us with the strength and courage we need to face life's challenges. He gives us strength when we are weak. In our moments of vulnerability, His power is made perfect. He gives us wisdom when we are confused. When we seek His guidance, He illuminates our path and helps us make wise decisions. He gives us peace when we are afraid. In times of uncertainty and fear, His presence brings a calming reassurance. He gives us hope when we are discouraged. Even in our darkest moments, His light shines through, giving us the strength to carry on. He is everything we need. In every situation, His love and grace are sufficient. Humility allows us to experience the fullness of His blessings and to live a life of purpose and fulfillment. A life transformed, 2 Corinthians 12 verses 9 to 10, is a powerful reminder that God's grace is enough. It's in our weakness that His power is made perfect. When we embrace our imperfections and rely on His strength, we can overcome any challenge and live a life of purpose. So if you're going through a difficult time today, remember these words: my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. God is with you. He loves you, and he will never let you go. Thank you so much for watching our YouTube video created by Christ's Herald Society. We truly appreciate your support and hope you found the content enriching. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and sharing it with your friends and family. Your engagement helps us reach more people with our Bible-based lessons. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us for more inspiring content in the future. Together, we can spread the message of faith and love. Thank you again for being a part of our community.